Video from yesterday regarding the testing of the different bit rates. And here what I would like to show you is what does it mean. We spoke about the HDR, and here this timeline, or actually the library itself is wide gamut. But if you look at any of these guys, we kept them in Rec 709 because this is what's gonna be delivered. Here, I just want to show you the difference in the dynamic range. So here, this is the Canon, this is the Lumix, and this is the Sigma FP. Let me just want you to pay attention to the vectorscope. And here, what we are using is the waveform RGB overlay. So I just want to show you here what usually happen. Here is the shot after I try to correct them as much as possible. And if I removed it, actually I need to show it here. And if I remove it, look how it was shot. So what is interesting here about the Canon, here the maximum is 100. We are able to go a little bit above it, but if I want to shoot a little bit high, you see the clip at about 110. And if you go down at 0, you're pretty much clipped. And here I try to compensate the white balance as much as possible. And to be honest, even if I didn't see this completely, and I was just only looking at this, I think I can do better job. So what I do is usually just go from the highlights, start with the highlights. Actually, before I go there, I look here at the mid-tone. This is the range of the highlights. This is the range of the mid-tone. This is the range of the shadows. You want, first of all, to fix your range. So we have the high at the high, the highlight at the highlight level, the mid-range slightly above the mid-range, kind of like funny, some above it, some below it, and maybe these even I will consider them as a shadow. But anyway, the shadows, you see the blue, the green, the red is pretty much overlaying very well. I can maybe bring the blue a little bit lower, or the green. I think they are pretty much, no matter what I try to do, this is pretty much a good overlap. Now, when you look at the other one, the blue still high, the blue and the red still below. Maybe what I can do is just I go here and try to bring the blue a little bit. Do I need to change the red? The red's pretty much, you can see maybe a little bit of changing the red, but you know what, it's not gonna make a lot of difference. Here again, it's a good overlap between the three colors, so I should have a decent colors over here. Now when I look at this, of course the background here is pretty much blued away, and what's good when you use the HDR, you can always play around it to try, but no matter how low I go, I can't retrieve anything from outside. So let's keep it below 100, and let's keep the shadows at some point right here. The mids may be a little bit high. Let's bring them down. As I bring them down, and here I guess what I'm looking is pretty much on the picture itself. Maybe I will do something like the curve. Bring it here. No, that's not gonna help. Maybe a little bit over here. No, not much. Anyway, so this is how you see the HDR does work, and it helps a lot. But this is the true dynamic range of the Canon M6 Mark II. Let's take a look at the Lumix S5. When you look at the Lumix S5, here I have The color seems to be nice, even that when you look at them over here, the highlight or the shadows, they are not perfectly uh, balanced. Let's start as we did before. Let's put all these guys together. Try to find a nice line and try to align them together. So here's the shadows should be fine, and maybe I need to bring it a little bit down so it can reach a decent level. The highlights is a little bit, look here, I can go all the way to uh, higher than the Canon, but doesn't reach all the way to 120 before it clipped, which is okay. But look at the colors here. They are, the blue here is higher while the red here in the mid is higher. What that tells me that maybe here I'm missing something. If I reset the midtones, the red now is higher everywhere. So when I try to fix, actually before I do that, let me try to fix it from, this is how it started. Let's go down into the red, keeping the, try to find any line and try to keep them all at the same level. Here it's kind of like hard to do that. You know what, I'm just gonna go back to where, you see here, the interesting part is here there is a good overlap, but here we're still in the mid-tone. We see the red a little bit higher than the other colors, which is kind of bummer. Something like this. Now, if I were to try to give myself the full range, dynamic range, and I bring the load a little bit below, bring the high a little bit to the high, and my mids are, keep them at the mid, just to utilize the full dynamic range. Here at the mid, I can see that there is a clip, which is pretty much coming from this area, I think. So I prefer to bring this a little bit below so I can bring them to a decent level. Now, when you look at the difference in the way that the vector scope varies between the 10-bit versus the 12-bit versus the 8-bit. I feel for some reason that the colors coming from the 12-bit are sharper and more clear. Now here in the 12-bit, which is the Sigma FP, what I want to show you, if how do we start? And by the way, this is after I convert RAW to Panasonic Vlog, and then I use the Panasonic lot. When we go back here and you go all the way, you're gonna see here, this is the end result, a little bit of ranging between the different colors. I'm not gonna bore you while I'm trying to do the same thing. But look at the Lumix and the Sigma FP. Maybe the FP is a little bit cooler. Let me put comparison view. Let's put this as a frame for comparison. Actually, maybe I should put this guy for comparison. Actually, I like the colors from the FP more. So let's see how we're gonna fix and match the Sigma. I feel that this blue is deeper, more red. So maybe what I can do is just play a little bit here. This seems to be about right. Maybe the blue is a little more saturated, I guess. This seems to be a sweet spot to have both of them. I think the FB is just requiring a little bit of more saturation. Let's see here. Actually, I have a lot of saturation. Ah, I'm fixing on the wrong video. Here, I guess I just need to add a little bit of saturation without making it too hot. And if you would like to check your old school skin tone, just to be sure that you are doing well, you can do that. Let me just do something like this. It's a challenge to work in the small screen. Still trying. There we go. Something like this. And we can do video scope. Sorry, I know you need to go to this one. So here you can see that we are in good spot. Little bit on the warmer range. We can do something like this to make it ideal. Excuse me. But this is look more yellow. This is not my real skin color. This is my real skin color. So I will just go back to where we're at. Okay guys, so here I hope these two videos help you to decide to see how much this bitrate really make a lot of difference between the three different cameras, how much that was really helpful to give you a lot of room to leverage all these data and make the best out of it. And with that, I will leave you guys and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.